I'm quite certain that almost everyone has heard these sentences. Put on warm clothes when you go out or you will catch a cold. Don't go out in the rain, you will catch a fever. When I was young, my mother used to yell this at me every rainy season and I refused to listen. The next day, I did regret my decision and was sick in bed. While I was sipping on some of her delicious rasam, she kept telling me that she was right. And she used to rub a powder called Rasnadi powder or Rasnadi churnam in the middle of my head after my bath, all the while telling me that it was to prevent water from entering into my head. I didn't have enough knowledge, and going by my experiences, I had to agree with her. I had this afterthought that she may have been right, but was she? Did she really know I will get a cold simply by not putting on my jacket or not carrying an umbrella? Well, after this episode of Pale Blue Thoughts, you will know better. Let's go! It is the question that parents have struggled with for years. Does cold weather cause colds? While conventional wisdom preached that cold weather and sniffles go hand in hand, there is no link between chilly temperatures and the onset of a cold. First of all, we need to know what causes a cold. Generally, a cold is caused by viruses. These are called rhinoviruses, which spread like any other pathogen, contact with infected people or bodily fluids or droplets. In fact, exposure to cold weather is actually shown to boost infection-fighting white blood cells or WBCs. Once inhaled, the rhinovirus attaches itself to the cells inside the nasal passages. It then begins to replicate itself, spreading more virus particles throughout the upper respiratory tract. Normally, the human body has a core temperature of 37 degrees centigrade or 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. At this temperature, our immune system provides the best support and ensures to work most efficiently. With lower temperatures, our body starts to work poorly. Blood circulation slows down and the communication between our cells and brain gets slower. Rhinoviruses prefer to spread around 31 degrees to 33 degrees Celsius through mucous membranes of the eyes, mouth or nose. And in winter, the temperature inside the nasal cavity is approximately 33 degrees centigrades. This may make it ideal breeding ground for rhinoviruses. So when these rhinoviruses get inside our mucous membranes, they start to infect the cells within it in order to reproduce. What we experience as a cold is our lymphatic system reacting as it should. Our body produces mucus from the mucosa or the inner lining of the body. Upon certain conditions, our body will produce this mucus to buffer and protect our body. This mucus is actually your white blood cells or leukocytes, which are part of your innate immunity. When the rhinoviruses attack, the body will first narrow the blood vessels and then widens it. This is called transient vasoconstriction. And then comes your WBC and it starts to eat away at the pathogens and our own damaged tissues in a process called as phagocytosis. The blood flow towards that area slows down, which is why that area turns red. As more WBC rush in, there is a slight inflammation which happens in that area. This is called as rhinitis. This happens mainly in the capillaries. When you blow your nose when you have a cold, you are actually removing these WBCs which are there to protect you. And many people think that this watery mucus-like thing is the water which entered into your body because you walked in the rain. Now coming back to my mom. In fact, not just to my mom, every mom in this world. My mom usually used to dry my hair using a towel the moment I came back drenched in rain, saying that I would catch a fever or cold. I'm sure she was just following a common misconception or a grandma's tale without knowing the fact that the skin is actually waterproof. It does not let water inside. I'm sure you must have all heard of the name keratin. Keratin is the protein from which nails and hair are formed. It is this keratin that makes the skin waterproof. Had it not been waterproof, then you would have bloated like a balloon if you spent a whole day in water. Swimmers and divers who dive into the water to collect clams, fish, etc. would have had a hard time plying their trade as they spent almost the whole day in water. A common cold occurs when a viral infection causes symptoms primarily in the head, such as a stuffy nose or a headache. It differs from a chest cold because of the location of the symptoms. Chest colds cause symptoms including chest congestion and coughing. Sinus infections share many of the same symptoms as head colds, but their causes are usually different. Sinus infections are mostly caused by bacterial infections. Most people recover from a common cold within 7 to 10 days. It is often said that when treated, a cold will last for 7 days, and if untreated, it would disappear in a week. And did you know that till date, modern medicine has not bothered to find a cure for common cold? Yes, there is no medicine that will cure cold. So what about Avil, cetirizine, levocetirizine, etc.? You may ask. They are not medicines to cure cold. During the process of inflammation, as explained earlier, the body also produces a nitrogenous compound called histamine, which plays a central role in producing itching. This causes a lot of discomfort inside the nasal membranes, which is highly irritating for all of us. The medicines like cetirizine are called as antihistamine tablets, and they reduce the production of histamine. This is mainly done to reduce the irritation that colds often bring with them, which, let us remind you, is part of the body's immune response to the rhinovirus. If you have nasal congestion, your doctor might give you saline nasal drops, which clears the pathway and helps you to breathe a bit easier. But your body would normally take 5 to 7 days to combat the infection, no matter what you do. And when you visit an alternate medicine doctor, they will prescribe their placebo pill and will give you their standard statutory warning that their medicines don't work as fast as the others, but ours don't have any side effects. But you know better now. Common colds certainly are very irritating, and any drugs in modern medicine which are administered is only to reduce the irritation. It does not do anything to cure your cold. Next time you take a medicine for cold, do remember this. One more important thing which is related that we felt that we should mention it here. Most of the times you close one nostril and blow through your other nostril. This is a highly dangerous action, especially in the case of children. If you remember your biology from class 10, you would have all drawn the parts of the ear and nose and marked its parts. If you remember, there was a connecting channel between your nose and your ear, which is called a eustachian tube. When you blow your nose, there is a pressure difference created, and this pushes on the middle ear and causes discomfort in your ears. In children, the diameter of the eustachian tube is slightly bigger, so blowing their nose can cause the infection to spread to the ear as well. So blowing your nose is not an advisable method to clear the cold, especially among kids. While it is true that during winter or monsoon we might catch a cold easier than in summer, it is not particularly linked to the temperature. Actually, it is better to go out than stay inside. In winter and in monsoons, most viruses are found in closed rooms with bad air circulation, and with many people inside, they become the source of infections. The warm and dry air inside your house dries out your mucous membranes, which allows viruses to enter your body and cause damage. Outside, however, you have fresh air and your movement boosts your health. Also, during winter and rainy months, many people get less vitamin D due to reduced sun exposure, and research suggests that vitamin D plays an important role in maintaining the immune system. So, how do you protect yourself from colds? The very same thing that you have been doing almost the whole of 2020. Washing your hands with soap and water, and avoid touching your eyes, mouth, nose, and staying away from those droplets. Furthermore, do more sports, eat healthy, and air your room several times a day. Now, why haven't we found a vaccine for common cold? That is because of the number of strains of the virus which is in circulation. There are more than 160 different strains of rhinovirus currently operating in this world, and it is impossible and not cost effective to create vaccines for such a large number of strains. And you have been given a very good fighting mechanism through evolution. So why not let the WBC give their knockout punch to an irritating but non-lethal disease? So to summarize, cold weather alone cannot get us cold. Viruses are responsible for us becoming ill. The rest of it is all hot air.